Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to talk about how you can create hosted agent in AA Foundry. There are two kinds of agents that you can create. The first kind is a simple thing that is called a prompt agent, which you're going to create inside Microsoft Foundry. I'm in aa.azure.com where you go here and this is the Foundry portal. You can go inside and just say create agent and give a name. Your prompt agent will be ready. Let's create one. My first prompt prompt. So this is ready to consume. You can consume it through REST API, and this is the playground. I'm gonna ask, hey, can you tell me joke? Then it's gonna respond, right? And this is the pretty simple prompt agent. And if you want to create a build little more complex agent, then you would need to code them, right? Using some framework. It can be LangChain or LangGraph, or Microsoft Agent Framework using Visual Studio Code. So here I have an example in Visual Studio where you can see hosted agent. So back to agenda, we're going to create a hosted agent in A Foundry, meaning we will create them in Visual Studio and deploy them in A Foundry. So for if you build them, if you create the code right in local, you need to build them as a Docker image. You can test them in locally before just publishing them into Foundry. And once you've published them into Foundry, using the platform, you can have leverage the list of things, right? Like you can have a model guard, or you have the playground that you can play with, right? You can just query them and ask. So these are the things we're going to see in this video. So let's go and create hosted agent in this Visual Studio Code. This is the sample. I got it from internet, right? So basically you have extension in Visual Studio Code, that is this one. Through this one you can actually create um, a project which will give you a sample template of this code. And basically that was not working, I found, or then I did a tweak of it, like to this one. So I will check in this code into GitHub so that you can refer. And this is the place where it can frequently change also. So probably this sample will work for you as well. Otherwise, you need to tweak again from my code. So here I have a sample agent. And before that, I have created a Python project and enabled an environment where I have deployed these many dependencies. I'm using Azure Agent Server, Agent Framework. And if you go here, this is my agent looks like, right? Here I'm using client's secret credential to talk to the agent, or the model inside the Foundry. Let me delete this terminals and show you one by one. This is a very pretty simple basic agent that I have created. So this agent is an AA agent. I'm running it in async mode using the credentials. So for LLM, it's going to use the model type is in dev. So I have exposed a secret, but I'm going to delete this project so you wouldn't be seeing that valid, right? So this is my model that is in my data foundry. Let me show how my data foundry looks like. So this is my data foundry project default folder. Right inside I have models. This is like we call it as deployment models, and I have created GPT 4.1 mini one, right? And we have agents, and we will rename this agent and deploy it, right? So once you have a hosted agent, then it will be like this. Here you have playground, and you can ask them. This code has become that agent, right? So you have a main that. So this is where it's going to create an agent. It's saying lender scene agent, but we can give a name, any name of it, and get that working here. So So my code is ready, and how I'm going to deploy this agent there. This is the config where I'm saying to the Foundry, hey, I need a resource of one CPU and 2 gig of memory for that. And this is my environment variables that I can add, where I can give. So what I've done is in the Docker file, I've given all the embedded the environment variables, which is not a best practice, right? So this should go to there. It's basically in the agent YAML file. So that the agent YAML file will have this environment variables. So once you do that, you create a Docker file similar to this one. So here I am saying, hey, from Ubuntu, you download that and install Python, and also you copy this folder to the app folder. So this is where my Python is being installed, and then sorry, the upper one, and then you have a list of requirements or the dependencies to be installed here. Once you do that, you copy the folder of this entire thing, particularly this important main dot Python file, right? And then you run them at the end of it, right? Basically, you copy them into the container and you make it run. So now this is the time to build it. So I'm opening a terminal and I'll say build it locally, right? This is step number 2 here. I'm going to run it. So I have a list of commands. So I'm saying, hey, Docker, build. My tag name is my dog image version 1. Let's say we go and build version 2. So this is going to take little time to build that image, because it has to download this various images and build everything. And it's built because I have no changes from the last, and it's saying it's done. So let's go to the Docker desktop and see the images there. You're seeing that version 2 images here. Now you built the images and locally and kept it there, and you're going to run it now. So this is the command. You can use it to create the container from the image. So here also I can pass the parameters externally, right? And I'm going to do that. So basically I have a container already. This is a dog agent container. I'm going to delete that container from here. Visually you have previously we used to do it in commands. Now it's possible through Docker desktop, and I'm going to build it again with the version 2, right? That's my dog agent. Go and verify the image name, version 2. So let's change that to version 2. Unable to find the image locally. That's called my dog agent, right? So I'm saying Docker run, name is that one, and saying my dog image. So it's successfully ran and it's running. You can see it. So this is the container. That's the only image we can see it here, and it's listening on 8089. This one you can test it locally, and I'm using. Hey, tell me a software joke. This is the Postman, and you can see the result in a bit. So here I got a little joke to attack the bugs. So it's a nice one. So this is running locally. Now our next step, as per the agenda, is to we have tested it as well, and going to deploy them and test it in Foundry. So how do we do that? Through an extension of Microsoft One. So first of all, for that I need to go and say which is the account this should log in into, and what is my default project is. So I'm going to add the account here. That's the one. Then it's selected. Go to the Microsoft Foundry one. Set the project default project one to proj default Foundry project. Now it's all set. Now we're gonna say go to the extension Microsoft Foundry, deploy the hosted agent. So it's going to use a Azure Container Registry to upload the image, and from there, uh, the container will get the image. So this will take some time to deploy this one as per the agent that we have, agent.yaml file that we have. So here we have some name that is actually this one. The current version of it is actually 8. Now you will see the ninth version um, from here, right? So let's test it here as well and say how to make how prep me for an earthquake. Sorry for the spelling, and still it's going to understand me and give me a result. Okay, that's an emergency plan and etc. So this is cool, and let's see once the ninth version is deployed and how you can see it, see the same version and the playground inside the Visual Studio. So once we do that, and we can see how you can deploy them into Azure Kubernetes service as well. Basically, I'm going to use AKS in the next video, not in this video. We are just waiting, deploying to be happen, and we're going to test this locally and say goodbye to this video, and we'll see how you can deploy them into Azure Kubernetes service and access them through REST API. So here is another code I have. Basically, this is the consumer part of it. This code I have got it from here. This is the version 8 and how you can write the client code. And probably on top of it, you can write a Python fast API and make it as a API protected, right? So these things are without. So one of the thing is the prompt agent that you can actually call. Maybe this one, right? You can call them through that is default enable, right? So see this one. This is the one of the prompt agent that I can call it through APIs, but we're going to use this client code to use that. So that is the code I have deployed in consumer, and sorry, not this one, this project, and I can run them locally. So I'm testing here the version 8, and it's going to call the agent and say some result to me. So let's finish that. See this one. So I got the response as well. So here I have the endpoint of this Foundry, and I'm asking some question, and it's giving me the output. So let's not touch that. So now you can see how the deployment logs looks like. So this is where it got the it's executing this Docker file and getting Python first Ubuntu, then Python, then finally it's copying our files and running it, packaging it, and deploying it. Once you deploy them, you will get a page like this. So that is pointing this agent version 9 and responses. You have invocations to earn and responses. Response ones will provide you the response in the call itself, like go to the playground and say Hey, prep me for tomorrow's meeting. So this is the result I'm getting, the relevant result. Tell me a joke. Ah, come on. Yeah. So this is all I wanted to show you, and thank you for your time. Thank you.